It's important to remember our physical health affects our mental health and vice versa. What we do to our bodies makes a big difference to how we feel. Physical activity, diet, alcohol, smoking and drugs can all affect our mental health and well-being in different ways. So let's talk about them. Physical activity releases feel-good hormones called endorphins, which help us sleep and feel better. It also improves our physical fitness, which tends to make people feel better in general. Even small amounts of regular physical activity can improve your mental well-being, especially if it's doing something you enjoy. Physical activity is even a recommended treatment for some types of depression. You can get active at your own pace in your own way. There's no need to join a gym or even spend any money. Simple small changes in our day-to-day can make all the difference. Taking a brisk walk at lunchtime or walking to get where we're going, getting active in the garden or cycling once or twice a week are great options. If there's a type of activity you used to enjoy, think about how you could pick it up again. For example, there are lots of local groups and sports teams open to all levels of ability. What's more, studies show that time in green spaces is beneficial. So head to your local park if you can. If you need a little help fitting more physical activity into your day, try the Active 10 app. It helps you get short bursts of brisk walking into your day. There's also the fantastic Couch to 5K app, which will get you up and running in just 9 weeks. Eating better can play a big role in our health and well-being. It won't come as a surprise to learn that what we eat and how much plays a big part in our physical health, which can impact our mental health too. Ideally, we should aim to eat a healthy, balanced diet with plenty of fruit and veg. It's important to keep an eye on your calories and minimize foods that are high in sugar, fat, and salt. Alcohol, caffeine, tobacco, and even drugs may seem tempting when we're stressed or tired. And when we use them to try and cope, the idea of stopping them can feel like it would make things even harder. But they can cause more problems than they solve, especially long-term. All these habits can complicate our sleep patterns and affect how anxious and depressed we feel. So try cutting down or even quitting. And remember that there's support available. Alcohol in particular can worsen our moods. So cutting down can really help us feel better. For more help cutting down, you can download the Drink-Free Days app. And for help cutting back on drugs, visit the Talk to Frank website. As for cigarettes, stopping smoking is one of the best things you can do for your body and your brain. You'll breathe easier, feel better, and save money. What's good for your body is good for your mind.
Hi there. Today we're going to learn all about food groups and MYPLATE. Food groups are what they sound like, a collection of foods that share similar nutritional properties, which means they do similar things for your body. There are 5 food groups: fruit, vegetables, grains, protein, and dairy. Let's take a closer look at each group. The fruit group includes things like apples, oranges, grapes, and bananas, along with lots of other types of fruit. The vegetable group will contain plants that provide lots of great nutrients important for your body. Vegetables can be any part of the edible plant: leaves like lettuce, stalks like celery, roots like carrots, tubers like potatoes, bulbs like onions, and flowers like broccoli. Bet you didn't realize that broccoli was a flower. Foods that come from the grains group are made from grains that start off as plants, like what you see here. These are plants like wheat, rice, and corn. The grains off the plant can be eaten or ground into flours that we can use for baking foods like bread, bagels, or pasta. Even cereal made of oats or wheat are a part of this group. What belongs in the protein group? Foods that come from animals like meat, poultry, eggs, and seafood are a part. You can also find protein from plants in the form of nuts, beans, and tofu. Dairy is the last food group. When something is made from cow's milk or a milk alternative like soy milk or almond milk, it counts as a dairy. Foods like milk, yogurt, cheese, and butter are a part of this group. Ice cream counts in this group too. But can you guess what food group the cone belongs to? If you guessed the grain food group, you're right. So let's take a minute to test your knowledge. Spend a few seconds thinking about which food groups these foods belong to. How about oatmeal? If you guessed the grains food group, you're right. What about cheese sticks? Cheese is a part of the dairy group, so if you guessed that, good job. And peanut butter? Remember, peanuts are a plant-based protein, so peanut butter is a part of the protein food group. How about orange juice? Yes, you probably guessed the fruit food group since oranges are fruits. But be careful with this one. It only counts as a part of the fruit food group if it's made with 100% fruit juice. Many juices are not. What about candy? Sweet treats like candy don't fit into any food group because they're mostly made of sugar. And finally, how about this cheeseburger? You might have guessed the protein group since we mostly think of it as the burger. And you're right that it's a part of the protein food group. But foods can have components from different food groups. The bun is a part of the grain group, and the cheese is a part of the dairy group. You could even add lettuce and tomatoes from the vegetable group. It's important to eat foods from all of these groups because they all provide important nutrients that are essential for our growth and our health. Not only do we want to have all of these food groups, but we want to have them in the right proportion. To help us see the appropriate portions, let's take a look at something called MYPLATE. MYPLATE is kind of like a puzzle. We can fit the different food groups together to complete a full meal with just the right balance of foods. And the right mix of these foods will help us to be healthier. Take a look at MYPLATE for a moment. What do you notice? Not all food groups are meant to be eaten in the same amount. You'll see here that half of your plate should be fruits and vegetables. Here are some other tips. Try to eat fruits of all colors. Aim to eat your fruits whole and limit fruit juice. Fruit juice has less fiber and extra calories compared to whole fruit. Aim to eat vegetables with a variety of colors too. Try to get mostly non-starchy vegetables like leafy greens, broccoli, and peppers. Starchy vegetables are those like potatoes and corn. Half of your grains should be whole grains. You can tell if they're whole grains by looking at the packaging and at the nutrition facts label, or by baking yourself with whole wheat flour or other whole grain flours. Refined grains like white bread and white rice have less of things like fiber, iron, and vitamins. For protein, a palm-sized amount of protein is all you need for a meal. Choose leaner options most of the time, like chicken, fish, beans, and nuts. For dairy, aim for skim or 1% products like milk and yogurt. Using MYPLATE as an example of how your plate should look for lunch and dinner will help you to build meals that will keep you energized, help you grow, and keep you healthy.